How's it going, everybody? Coach Chenzo here from Frozen Ropes National Training Center. We're going to be talking a little bit about primary stance and secondary stance as a catcher. So before I get into what each one looks like, let's just talk quickly about what each is. So the primary stance is what your catcher is going to be in when nobody is on base. So we're going to be a little bit lower in our stance and just kind of setting up more for a pitch rather than being ready in case a runner runs. The secondary position is probably what your catcher is going to be in more often than not, because there's usually people on base, and this is when anybody's on base, even third base. We're prepping in case someone does steal, but being in that secondary position with a runner on third, it keeps us a little bit more athletic, a little bit more on our toes. That way, if a ball does kind of get away, it's in the dirt, we can drop down and block a little bit quicker, and we can kind of move side to side a little bit quicker as well. So first, the primary stance, okay? It doesn't need to be anything crazy, right? We're not going to get super wide with our feet. We also don't want them super in, but about shoulder width apart, maybe a little bit more, right? And your toes are going to kind of be pointing outwards, right? Almost making like a little bit of a V. Very important that we make sure that our heels stay on the ground. A lot of catchers you will see are kind of on their toes like this, and it's actually very hard to kind of stay like this. Like even right now, I'm kind of wobbling. So especially with the younger guys, make sure that their heels get on the ground. We're a lot stronger. We're a little bit more balanced as well. Explain it like a tree trunk to them. If you have a little tiny tree like this, it's a lot easier to kind of move and shake. But if you have a big tree with a nice big trunk, right, that's a good strong position there. Okay, so toes point out a little bit, heels on the ground. Next, make sure they're squared up to the pitcher. Their knees should be facing the pitcher. Sometimes you get guys that are kind of off to the side like this. Again, we don't want to be too crooked here, because again, now all these pitches out here are going to be tough for us to get, and it's going to be harder for us to make them strikes if they are a ball. All right, so we're squared up, my heels are on the ground. Okay, my bare hand is now behind my ankle, not behind my back anymore, nice and relaxed, and I have a good target, a nice low target down here to get ready for my pitcher to hit a nice low target. Again, being the case if they do miss their spot, hopefully they're going to be missing lower and they won't be missing right down the middle or too high. All right, so we're right here. Now the secondary stance, a little bit more difficult, and it's a little bit harder for players to stay in because it takes a lot of leg strength. But again, during the game, they're going to be in this position more often than not, with the case being that there are usually runners on base. So what we're going to do, and a good way to kind of get them set up, is for righty catchers, which most of them are, you're going to take your right foot and your right toe and line it up with your left heel, right? And then from here, you can have them kind of just go straight out like this. Now we're a little bit more than shoulder width apart, right? And my feet are a little bit crooked. Not crazy, not like this, right? But just my right toe to my left heel, so we can cheat a little bit. That way, in case a runner does go, we're ready to pounce. Okay, then I'm going to get down into my squat. Instead of my butt being all the way down here, though, right, I'm going to have my knees almost at a 90-degree angle, right? This is going to get my muscles engaged and not relaxed. If my muscles are relaxed, it's going to take me a lot longer to get them fired up and get ready to pop up. Excuse me. And the other reason is it's going to take longer for me to get from all the way down here to back up here to throw. So I'm already kind of cheating. I'm about halfway. Very important here, make sure that just because they're higher, their target does not get up here either. Because now, instead of being down here, a lot of times we'll see as soon as they bring their butt up, they get in that secondary position, they bring their glove with them. The glove still needs to stay nice and low down at the knees. All right, so again, have them set up with their right toe, even with their left heel, a little bit more than shoulder width apart, and their butt is getting down, and their knees are about 90 degrees. And then from here, now my bare hand is right behind my glove.